Hey guys, Wagwan. Guys, by now you would have all heard the story of the 64-year-old British lady who went to Jamaica as she did for many years, year after year. She went to Jamaica around about 25th of November and then she suddenly went silent, went missing, and then unfortunately her body was found in a shallow grave a few days later. Now, we don't have all the facts, but there are a lot of things pointing to her husband, who is a 37-year-old man from Jamaica. Guys, I don't know where this video is going to go, but I want to start by saying my deepest condolences to the family. I cannot imagine what you guys are going through. For the daughters who made contact with Papa Newslink, I know this is not the outcome you expected. I can't imagine what life is like for you now. I really can't imagine it, but I just want to say that my heart is breaking for you. My thoughts are with you and my prayers are with you. Papa Newslink, I just want to say the biggest shout out to you, the biggest amount of respect, the biggest credit goes out to you for this. It doesn't matter who wants to cover this story. None of this would have come out if it had not been for you and the work that you and your detectives did. You deserve all the credit for this. Sadly, we're not here for talking about credits, right? Guys, there are a lot of YouTubers, a lot of influencers covering this story. And I just want to say, you know, the way how Popeye covered this story, I give him so much credit. I've heard so many other people talk about this story and they somehow forget that they're talking about somebody's mom. They somehow forget that they're talking about a person who has lost their life at the hands of somebody who they trusted and somebody who they love. A lot of people are reducing it to age and to intimacy. No, guys, remember that we are free to choose anybody of any age we want to date. As long as they're adults and we're not harming anyone, we are going to do what we want to do. And it doesn't matter what people say. We might not agree with it. A lot of people are saying she's 64 and what was she doing with a 37-year-old. I am one of those people who think that the age in this particular relationship did not make sense. But it made sense to her, so much so that she married this person, right? We're going to make choices as individuals. We can hear all the cautionary stories. We can hear all the warnings. We can see all the signs. And we all of a sudden start to think, this will never happen to me because I'm smarter than this and it'll never be me. But on this occasion, I feel like sometimes people are coming out with things that, you know, she allowed sex to run her life. She allowed sex to blind her. She allowed, you know, this should have never happened because of the age gap, whatever. Understand this. The woman has lost her life. Her family are grieving. I feel like we should be more sensitive towards this subject. I think that, yes, we do what we do and we speak the way we speak, right? We believe what we believe. Nobody's going to change that. This is what we believe. But please remember that the same way that these daughters reach out to Popeye, they are somehow listening to what is being said about their mom. Please remember that whatever the reasons are why this woman chose this man, regardless of age, regardless of nationality, regardless of whatever, for whatever reason she chose him, she must have found some kind of comfort in him. She must have loved him to some extent. He must have been saying the right things to her that made her feel like, you know what? This is a person that I can do this for. This is a person that I can do this with. And never ever was she thinking that she was going to lose her life at the hands of this person. Guys, we need to start putting the blame where the blame is due, right? This man could have been 50 years old and done the same thing. This man could have been 16 years old and done the same thing. This man could have been from the UK and did the same thing at the age of 37. It could have been anybody, but unfortunately it was Dawn who lost her life at the hand of somebody who's much younger. No, he was not young enough to not know what he was doing. So age gap on this occasion doesn't mean anything. We need to place the blame where the blame needs to be placed, right? We can't just say, oh, she should have known better because what is a 64-year-old woman doing with a 37-year-old man? Would it have been okay then if the man was 37 and it was a 37-year-old lady from the UK who went to Jamaica and he buried her? Would that be okay if they were both 37? It's not okay. I think we're missing the point. The point that we should try to focus on is people need to control their emotions. People need to look after their mental health, because I guarantee you this man is not functioning as a normal human being. If this is the case and this is the man who took his wife's life, this man is not somebody who is normal. This man should not be running around in society. This had nothing to do with his age. He's not a child. If in fact this is the person who took the woman's life at the age of 37, he is very much responsible for whatever he did. He is very much responsible for his actions and should be held accountable. We are not going to excuse his behavior because she was 64 and he is 37. That is foolishness. It's not okay. So she was 64. So had she met a man in Jamaica that was 64 years old, would that guarantee that the same thing wouldn't happen? At 64 years old, I don't think she was stupid. I don't think her decision to marry this man was based on sex alone, as people are just narrowing this woman's life down to sex alone. Her choice is down to sex alone. It cannot be that. I don't think they were just in bed having sex 24 hours a day and she got nothing else from the relationship. He must have been offering some other kind of support to her, whether it was to help her with her business, whether it was emotional support. He must have been offering some other support to her, and that is why she was with him. I think as a people and as black people, and I'm going to narrow it down to a lot of Jamaican people, I'm not saying all, we tend to narrow everything down to sex and money. We don't know. Those might have been what influenced the relationship with her, but we will never know now. We will never know. But so many people in Jamaica have mental illnesses that are just being ignored. So many people in Jamaica are just, the behaviors are just not right and people are not being held accountable. We've heard the stories where men and women in Jamaica are meeting people from foreign countries and they're scamming people and they're robbing people and they're using people. But never did we think that it would come to this, and we will be covering a story where a woman has lost her life at the hands of somebody who she trusted. Guys, just be sensitive in what you're saying. We're focusing on age. We're focusing on all kind of other differences. The man was mature enough. You know, the lady was mature enough. Moreover, it is her personal life. Yes, it's now played out in the public, and we get that. I understand that it's played out in the public, and the family have asked for help on a public platform. Some of the comments from some of the influencers, they are very insensitive. I think sometimes we need to put ourselves in the position of other people. Had this been us, had this been our mother, had this been our father or relative in any way, somebody we care about, it's almost like we are just dismissing the woman's life and saying that is what she deserves because she made a choice to date somebody much younger. We don't know the reasons, or guys, but what we do know is that something unfortunate and senseless has happened that should never have happened. That's what we need to focus on. We need to focus on changing the mentality of people. We need to focus on showing love among ourselves and among other people, because this man, if it is him who took the life of Dawn, I don't know how people can live with themselves. Again, I'm going to say, guys, learn to control your emotions. If things are not working the way that you want them to work, leave the situation. There is absolutely no justification for ending this woman's life. It doesn't matter if she had something that you wanted. It doesn't matter if she said something to you that you did not like. It doesn't matter if you thought things are not going to work out. Listen, there are a million different ways that this story could have ended, and it could have all ended with the woman being alive. If it's her belongings that you wanted, you could have taken them, and I'm sure if you had threatened the woman would have taken your threats very seriously and would have gone about her ways. I am sure if I don't know what she's arguing with you, I'm sure you had the choice to walk away. If she was accusing you of something, again, I'm sure you had the choice to walk away. There was a million other things that could have been done, but this woman, and from what I'm hearing, a machete was used to chop this woman. Really? Her body was decomposed. So had the daughters not been proactive, you know what, it is also good that that lady she set a standard then. So she was communicative with her daughters. And so as soon as they didn't hear from her, it raised alarm, and they knew straight away that this is not usual for her. It is not like her to go to Jamaica and they don't hear from her. God knows, guys, my heart is breaking. I feel like crying when I think about this. As soon as somebody said this to me a couple of days ago and they sent me the first story from Popeye, I was like, you know what? This lady is dead. She's never going to come back alive. If they find her, she will not be alive. And so it was said, so it was done. But my point is, guys, Yes, some relationships don't make sense. Some age gap relationships don't make sense. But you know what? I've seen them work though. I know people for sure who have 22 years age gap and they're going strong. They've been together for more than 15 years and they're doing well. So we can't make choices for people. We can't tell people how to live. And just because something unfortunate happened, it probably had nothing to do with the age gap. Absolutely nothing to do with the age gap. It had everything to do with the mentality and probably the mental illness of the person who carried out this act. You know, we can't make it seem like this is what the lady deserved because of what she chose. You should be able to go into a relationship when you want to go into a relationship and be free to come out of it if you want to come out of it. As humans, we should be able to have the choice to say something no longer serves me, so I'm leaving. And somebody should be able to say, you know what, I don't want you anymore, and you should just accept that. You don't have to think about ending somebody's life. People are out there just being jealous and envious of people's things. And everything is influenced by what we now see on the internet. Everybody wants to get rich quick. Everybody wants things that they don't want to work for. Everybody wants something to come to them easy. We don't know the reason why this person did this. We don't. We probably never will. We probably will never know the true reason. The other thing that we will never know is the kind of relationship they had. We also will never know why this lady chose this man. But the fact is, what we know for sure is that she chose him. She married him. So it tells me that there was something between them. Because who in their right mind just go out and just meet someone and just marry them with no love, with no feeling, no nothing? Remember, this man is in Jamaica, and I don't think he was like a rich man. So he must have been doing something for her that made her feel like, you know what, because you're treating me this way, or because you're doing this for me, I feel like at this time you're giving me more than what others have given me, or you're giving me what I've been missing. And so I want to make a life with you. You cannot blame the woman for somebody else's action. Sometimes people blame people. You shouldn't have fallen in love with somebody. There's nothing wrong with you trusting somebody. We are supposed to trust people. We're supposed to be not judgmental towards people. Somebody else's action shouldn't even reflect on the choices that we make. People need to be responsible for their own actions, and people need to behave as human beings. I'm just going to say, guys, just respect the lady. Respect her family. Because the same way how I can see some of the comments and listen to some of the commentators and some of the videos, and I feel disgusted by it, and I'm not even related, or I don't even know this woman. If I can feel this way about somebody who's a stranger, just imagine what her daughters are feeling when they read some of the comments. I'm sure the daughters had their own reservations about the age gap between their mom. But you know what? All of us want to see the people that we're with, or the people that we know, happy. All of us. So if the daughters saw that their mom was happy, they probably were not going to put too much pressure on her, because you know what? He was making her happy. And sometimes that's all we want for the people that we love. She made her choice. He made his choice. She chose to be with him. It never worked out right. But at this point, let us respect the dead, guys. Let us respect the dead, and let us respect the family. Because it cannot be easy. It cannot be easy. Do you know how helpless those people must feel right now in the UK, knowing that their mom was missing in Jamaica and they're 9 hours flight away? Probably can't even afford an air ticket to just go down. Do you know how helpless they must be feeling at this time? The last thing that they need right now is people piling more pressure on top of them, talking about their mom like she was an idiot. Maybe she was a fool in love, we don't know. But how many of us has fallen fool for love, irrespective of age? So if it's not age, sometimes we fall fool for love in other ways. Sometimes we know for sure that some people don't want us. People of our own age, they don't want us. Sometimes we think that we're secure in a relationship and people are out there cheating on us. Sometimes we think that we're secure in a relationship and people just drop us like hot bun. And we're the same age, and we feel like we're experienced, and we feel like this could never happen to us, and we feel like everybody that we meet is very different. And we've heard all the stories, and we do think that we are smart enough because we've been forewarned. We think we're smart enough and we can make good choices. But people are people, and people will behave according to how they feel at the time. And unfortunately, this is a very evil world that we live in. People are unkind, guys. People are unkind. Just because we're not killing people physically, we can be killing people with the words that we're using. No, I'm not saying that all Jamaican people are bad. I'm not saying that all Jamaican men are bad. I know a lot of Jamaican people who are upstanding, who are kind, who would never hurt a fly. I know a lot of Jamaican men who would have gone to that woman's defense if they knew what was going on with her. So in no way at all I'm saying that once you meet a Jamaican man and he's younger than you, this is going to be your end. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is be respectful. Understand that people's business are their own. We can talk on from now until the end of time. People are going to do what they're going to do. The same as you're going to do what you're going to do. I can only wish for the best for this family. I can only pray for this family. What a horrible way to go into Christmas. What a horrible way to start December for this family. Never did this woman know that she would go to Jamaica and it would be the last time she would be alive in Jamaica. She would never have known this. So guys, it's a rough situation. It's unfortunate on all accounts. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It wasn't her fault, is what I'm saying. It was not her fault. It wasn't. Because it doesn't matter what happened before somebody decided to take her life. Nothing warrants somebody taking somebody's life, because we cannot give life. So why are we so quick to take somebody else's life? There are other ways to manage your emotions. There are other ways to manage your behaviors. Act right, people. Sometimes it's a lack of education. Sometimes it's a lack of maturity. Sometimes it's a lack of being able to manage your emotions. But only you can work on that. We don't control anybody else's behavior, you know? The only behavior we can control is our own. Somebody can upset us from now until our face turns blue. What we do next is up to us. Just pray for the family, guys, is all I can say. But it's a sad situation.